afternoon and welcome to the very first NRL Thursday Liquid Lunch. The show aims to offer up some focused insights into punting and tipping in each round. We've got some good stats for you as well. What we don't do is any in-depth prediction commentary on each game. There's a few solid YouTube channels doing that sort of thing. I think most fans would agree that we had a spectacular kickoff to the season live out of Las Vegas last weekend. Manly knocked over the slim favoured Bunnies 36-24, and in the following match, the Roosters put paid to favourites Brisbane 20-10. Both winners were underdogs that were assigned the home game, and I'll talk a bit more about those two win stats in my punting rationale for Game 8. Now, if you're like me and you're totally into statistics, visit the Gurgler for all stats that matter. We've got a lot to try and fit into under 20 minutes, so let's get stuck into it, shall we? Game 3 tonight sees the Knights v Raiders at McDonald Jones Stadium. These guys last met in round 22, 2023, when the Newcastle boys thumped Ricky's Raiders 28-6. Canberra's left-edge defence really let them down that day. The Knights showed their potential last season, and we expect them to fire up in the early stages of the game. Knights get every advantage playing at home, and the Raiders could struggle in 2024, especially if their pre-season form is anything to go by. Now, that said, if the Raiders can take control of the ruck early and use their speed on the edges, they could just give the Newcastle lads a run for their money. Alternatively, if Knights come out with depth and strength in the middle, they could dominate from the start. Newcastle have won their last 6 round 1 games at home, whilst Canberra have lost their last 3 Thursday night games. The bookies have blinkers on for this one, putting the Knights firm favourites at $1.42 and Ricky's Mob out to $2.90. My game simulation model reflects this, with the Knights a 71% probability of a victory. I'd suggest you take a look at the Knights minus 6.5 at $1.90. Now, across the Tasman, we go to Media Stadium on Friday night for Game 4, the Warriors up against the Sharkies. In round 5 last season, the Warriors claimed an amazing upset in a high-scoring affair at PointsBet Stadium, recording only their third 20-point comeback in club history, besting the Sharks right at the post, 32-30. Warriors come off a huge 2023, where they made the semi-finals, and that should give them plenty of confidence. Plus, getting Roger back is a massive bonus for the team. I don't think that Craig Fitzgibbon's Chargers have done as much work in the off-season as others. Cronulla have won just 2 round 1 games since 2010. That stat is up against the Warriors, winning 8 of their last 9 Friday games in 2023. I think the Sharks might need a few more weeks to show their best, and the bookies share that thinking as well, backing in the Warriors at $1.53 and pushing the Cronulla Sutherland boys away out to $2.50. My game simulation model has the Sharks touting a 37% probability of a win. I'm steering away from a head-to-head wager, and for value I suggest the bet to review is total match points under 39.5. Well, we'll launch our trivia time shortly, but next we head down to a chilly Amy Park for Game 5 to watch the reigning premiers take on Melbourne Storm. Bookies have opened the door for punters with Storm at $2.12 and Penrith still a decent enough $1.72. These two heavyweights last did battle in round 23 last season. We saw a blockbuster top 4 clash that started with 2 penalty goals in the opening 12 minutes, one to Nathan Cleary and one to not so young Nick Meaney. There was even a bit of a drama when the Melbourne trainer was sent from the field. I thought that was hilarious myself. Now, it's rare to see Melbourne Storm not favoured to win at home. Melbourne last lost a round 1 clash way back in 2001. Penrith last won a round 1 game away from home in 2006. Now, they have played the last 6 round 1 clashes at home for a win 4 and loss 2 record. Penrith had to play a tough battle against St Helens last week, which could take its toll towards the last 10 minutes of the game. My game simulation model offers the Panthers a 67% winning probability. It's rare to see the Storm lose at Amy Park, and that's why my bet to review is Storm head-to-head at $2.12. Next up, it's trivia time. This week's question is, which team has the best win-loss record in round 1 of the current NRL teams? Now, email your answer in to win a copy of my ebook, A Guide to Better Tipping in the NRL. The link is below, quite easy. Just look at trivia at betternrltipping.com. First up on Saturday is Game 6 at CommBank Stadium, when the Eels do battle against the Bulldogs. Round 15, 2023 saw Parramatta flog the Doggies 34-12, and we witnessed a combination between Moses and Gutherson that was a real masterclass, I thought. There seems little hope for the Bulldogs in 2024. If the Doggies do manage to score a 6-pointer against the run of play in the opening 20, then we might well see a more spirited Bulldogs attack. However, Para shouldn't need time to click. Starting the season against the Bulldogs can only help their chances to boost early confidence. Parramatta have won 7 of their last 8 games at home to the Bulldogs and conceded 12 points or less in all of those 8 games. Bulldogs have lost 6 in a row on a Friday v Parramatta and last beat the Eels on a Friday night way back in 2005. Most bookies have the Eels in at $1.47 and posting odds for the Bulldogs at $2.71. That's quite good for Doggies fans willing to have a flutter. My game simulation win prediction has the Eels a 71% probability of a win and the Bulldogs coming in at just 29%. The bet to review in this encounter is Eels 1-12 at $2.70. 7:30 p.m. Saturday, March 9th at Cbus Super Stadium hosts Game 7 with the Titans taking on the Big Red V. We have to go way back to round 6 last season since these teams last met up. It was a solid game with a try in the dying minutes to Toby Sexton that helped the Gold Coast Titans claim a thrilling win over the Dragons. The off-season has seen player movements for both teams. I think the Dragons really might have benefited just a little more than the Gold Coast in that department. Bookies have tagged the Titans as favourites at home, offering mid-odds of $1.52. Given the stats, it might well be a lucky dip. The Gold Coast have won just 2 of the 16 games at home on a Saturday versus any Sydney opposition. On the other side of the stats coin, St George Illawarra have lost all of their away games in 2023. Now, the Dragons should attract punters, with most bookies posting around $2.55. Game simulation win prediction has the Titans at 64% and the Dragons at 36% probability. I think there's a bit more value to be had. So my bet review is a 2-leg multi, Dragons plus 5.5 and a total score of under 41.5, paying $3.50. Why? Well, because the Dragons have covered the line as underdogs in each of their last 8 games, and 7 of the last 8 matches between Gold Coast and St George Illawarra at Cbus have gone under the total match line. The final game of the round is at sunny Suncorp Stadium on Sunday at 4:05 local time. It's a designated home game for the Dolphins, taking on a strong Cowboys outfit. It was back in round 26, 2023, when the Cowboys put to rest a late Dolphins charge to win 34-10. The final Queensland Derby for 2023 started out as a bit of an arm wrestle, Perhaps the players were taken aback by the Dolphins' new black and red jersey, which looked great, I thought. Both teams have spent a lot of pre-season time devoted to defensive strategies, I understand. Now, that's all well and good, but you still can't win a game without the pill. The bookies have heavily backed the Cowboys with odds of $1.46 compared to offering $2.74 for the Dolphins. A couple of interesting stats. Dolphins won both their 2 Sunday home games at Suncorp Stadium in 2023, whilst the Cowboys have won 4 of their last 5 at Suncorp versus various opponents, including the Dolphins. My game simulation win prediction has the Dolphins at 33% and the Cowboys at 67% probability of winning. That's not the way I'll be punting. My bet to review, I like 2 separate wagers in this game, both on the Dolphins. Dolphins head-to-head paying $2.75 and Dolphins plus the line of 5.5 at $1.99. Why? Because 68% of the underdogs playing a home game have won in the past 5 seasons. And my stats tell me that the Dolphins out wide will be hard to handle. We all know as punters, there's any number of things that influence a game's outcome. For example, the errors made by match officials. In the 2023 season, there were 3.6 errors made by match officials that directly influenced the outcome of a game. That's up a massive 0.9% from the 2022 season. Now, let's take a look at the tips and predictions from Andrew and the Phantom for round 1. There doesn't seem to be much separating these boys in this round. I'm impressed that both tipsters got their first 2 games within a decent margin. You could do worse than follow these 2 experts throughout the season. With my tipping, you'll see that I only recommend bets for you to review. They're not necessarily the bets I make myself. It's up to you to research the recommendation as part of your own punting strategy. These are the bets I'll be making this round. It's my bets that will give you my punting data each week. So thanks for having me in your space today. I hope you enjoyed the show. We had a ball putting it together. Leave your comments about how we can improve, and remember, always back yourself. So that's enough from this mug. Bye for now, and good luck with your tipping and punting.